give these things just a moment to get started anyway, let people trickle in, because I tend to not schedule these things. I gotta go ahead and pull up the stream anyhow so I can monitor chat. New setup. There's a lot more vertical space. Even requires wearing pants, man. It's ridiculous.
Hey there, folks.
Uh-oh. That's not it, and that's not muted. That's it. Hey, no bully. I'm even gonna make a tweet about it. All right. I have to clean up my desk because this is ridiculous. I have a spot for these, but I don't remember where it is. Oh, never mind, I found it. Excellent. Yeah, my desk is like this pretty much constantly whenever I work on something. It's a problem. I don't know what to do with it. But I can also do stupid shit like this, and my mount is much sturdier. It's great. Buttons. Alright. We are going to be using a different tip. Grip on my iron keeps sliding backwards. I don't know what to do with it aside from sliding it forwards every now and then. Alright. So hello, how's everyone doing today? It's a wonderful day. I got a neat thing from retro modding that I never showed off. I don't remember if I'm supposed to or not, so hopefully I can, because it's been on my desk and I just realized this whole time. But this also came out a while ago, so I think we're good. Let's build a Ferris wheel. So you'll have to forgive me. I'm gonna be really behind on comments because my phone is about that much higher than it usually is, which puts it just out of my eyesight. So I'm watching them from the stream, but I will continue watching them. Excellent. So we get some laser cut acrylic, hold it together, some hardware for laser cut acrylic, all of the components, not counting the LEDs. Not too bad. Got 2 PCBs. Ooh, that is neat. I know exactly what that is. I think I know exactly what that is. We'll find out. USB cable, a remote, because it's extra fancy. Yeah, I have the comments on the desktop. It's just, there's a delay because streams just have like a 15 or 20-second delay or something. So when the comments come in, I see them on my phone, and then there's like a 20-second delay or something before they actually get added to the stream, just because that's how YouTube works. So still monitoring it. It's just maybe slower. Because when they were on the phone, like, it's just in my eye line. I can just see it. It's easier to respond to, whereas my computer's over there. Alright. Micro USB. Boo, not USB-C, but whatever. I'm sure that's going to be easier to solder because USB-C is not quite a beginner port to solder. And Demota. That's pretty neat. They've got a gearbox on this thing, too. No idea how this is supposed to work. Maybe it just screws on. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll wing it because of who I am as a person. I didn't even look to see if there were instructions. Yeah, it looks like I have all the parts. We should be good. I mean, I know there's like a video or something, but I recognize the irony in saying that I'm not interested in videos, but here we are. Cool. So I've got me some components. I am going to be using the J-tip today because I don't solder enough with it, and, well, what's the point of solder practice if not to get better at soldering? I'm also going to empty out my little brass hole here because it's full of solder. Get a nice fresh bit of brass. We're good to go. That is in a really inconvenient spot with my new phone thing. I think I best leave that there. And normally I solder at about 285 Celsius, but that's with the K-tip. With the J-tip, I think it's a little bit easier if we bump that up, so I'm going to bump it up to 315. And otherwise I think let's do it. Well, the markings on that look pretty easy to understand. So you've got the silk screen on the side in which the component gets placed. So we have all of the LEDs on the back. I guess there's a microphone. And then on the front, or I guess vice versa, whatever, you have the microcontroller, a few other components, so on and so forth. And then, oh, that's something neat. You don't see that every day. Look at the traces on that. Got that Nice curve going. Huh? Should we do the LEDs first? Nah, we'll do the LEDs last. Reason being, whenever soldering through hole parts like this, you want to do the shortest components first because it's easier to work around, and I'm pretty sure LEDs are taller. Yeah, the LEDs are going to be taller than most of the other components, so that's annoying. But we should be good. Did I put the LED away? No. Excellent. Straighten these pins out a little. This is the wrong tool for that job. Help me out, Discord Kitten. What's the optimal way to solder this? Do we do LEDs first, or do we do the other components first? I know you just assembled one of these. Suppose we should do the resistors. Ooh, and there's a little... These are neat. Where do these go? Inquiring minds must know. There's little pogo pin connectors because this is a slip ring, so this slides up against that as it rotates. So in theory, it should go against the inner ring, but that would probably be on this side. I'm guessing right there at ground, and right there at VCC, but these are going to be soldered last. Neat. That's one way to do that. I am going to start with the resistors. There are no labels. I hope these are all the same. These are not all the same. That's inconvenient. Oh, this one doesn't even have the color code printed right. There's a band, and then like the middle is just kind of chipped out. Or there's two bands, middle's kind of chipped out, and then there's half of a band on the rest. But that looks to be the same as those ones. So we have two different sets of resistors. Which is which? Who knows? Because it comes with 8 resistors, and it looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. All of the ceramic capacitors look to be the same. That should be easy to figure out. That should also be easy to figure out. Alright, so the only question is the resistors. And let's see. So rather than try and interpret that band code, I'm going to set my multimeter to resistance and just pop this across both terminals there, or probes. And come on. That gives me what, 500,000, 500K? Probably gonna be the same for all of these. Should be. Oh, that's 50K. That's odd. That's awkward. I thought those were the same. So I have 50K and 500K? Cool. And 10K. That's what I expected. What? $1K. Is that not the same? That's not the same. That's red and that one's orange. Oh, good lord. What is with these resistors? So yeah, I realized after the last stream I did that game player thingy had 4 games. I got distracted with Tetris, and it was kind of all consuming. It also has like adjustable brightness. You can adjust the sound volume. It's pretty good. I'll have to grab it. Remind me at the end of the stream. I'll grab it. I don't understand. Normally these come with like instructions or a schematic or something. I don't have one here. There is like partial schematic on the listing, but it doesn't actually cover what all the parts are, and there's no component labels for the resistors, so I don't know what goes where. No, the capacitors are fine. Let me do some research real quick and just double check before I make a commitment. So how are you guys doing tonight? So I'm doing pretty good. Had a pretty good week. I was gonna say we could cheat and look at the assembled photos, but the assembled photos have this side out, which covers the resistors. What did I say these were? These were 50K? Yeah. 50K, 500K, 10K, and 1K? And the schematic says 100K, even though I have 500, 50, 10, and 1. Thank you for that. Ah, there's a picture. Thank you. It's not very helpful. Well, it is very helpful, but it's not very clear. So we're definitely going to start with those. My iron went to sleep because I've been waffling around too much. We want brown, black, gold for R4. Was there a QR code? I didn't. I can't check it because that. Even if there was. That's okay. We got it. I have a. There was a QR code. It's okay because of who I am as a person. I just have another phone. Oh, but this one doesn't scan QRs. Yeah, whatever. I don't feel like installing the app or fucking with the setting because it's a Samsung and it probably does it by default anyway. Green, brown, gold, orange for R1. Brown, black, red for, which one was that? Top one. R5. And the next one is the one that looks like it has no bands. So the 500K. And then brown, black, orange. Which one is that? All right. So I think that's right. It's probably right. And even if it's wrong, it probably doesn't matter. Hopefully not. Alright, now flip that over. I'm actually going to use this other PCB to hold those resistors down while I flip it over so that they don't fall out. Thank you, Discord Kitten. That was very helpful. Alright, there's another look. Let me hold it upright so that makes more sense. That's what I went with. I hope that's right. Helps if you solder both joints and not just one side. Now I'm going to cut my leads down. We don't need to cut them flush, despite using a tool called a flush cutter. but we just don't want them long enough to interfere with each other and short things out. Ta-da! Cool. Hazy talking shit. What's new, dude? Thank you, HDR. But, quite frankly, it's what I've come to expect. What should we do next? Probably the capacitors. They are all the same, so it shouldn't matter which is what goes where. They all are 104. And these ceramic capacitors are not. They do not have a polarity, so you can just drop them in whichever orientation you feel is best. You only need 3? You only need 3. Flip that over. I gotta tell you, reaching over there for that thing is gonna take some muscle memory relearning. For context, I used to use I just upgraded my setup a little bit. I got better lighting and I got a better, more sturdy phone mount. And then I realized that the phone mount itself was never the problem with the stiffness in my setup. And so I replaced the old Goodwill lamp arm that I was using for this with an actual monitor VESA mount, and it's sturdy as hell. But I also had to mount it to that side of the desk instead of that side, which puts it right in front of where my brass hole used to be. Still even have the tool on my desk from putting it together. Alright. I suppose let's do this big boy. These are the components I soldered so far are not directional. They are non-polar. There's a better word for that, but it doesn't matter which way you solder them down. This, on the other hand, is definitely directional. We want to line up the half moon cutout on the chip itself, if you can see that. To kind of lean forward to make sure it's picking up in my phone. Hello there, it's Lato. We want to line that up with the half moon on the PCB. And I just spent a few minutes beforehand straightening out all the pins, so getting that installed is rather simple. And the rest of the components look to be taller, except for maybe this, but it's close enough that I'm not worried about it. Set that down. I like to tack down 2 corners for a chip like this, and then pick it up and apply a little bit of pressure, and then melt the joint again. That way I'm sure the chip is nice and flat and installed properly. In this particular case with the spacing, it's actually air gapping the board, but I think we'll be alright because the pins are fully seated. And once that's done, we can come in here with a big old ball of solder and just walk it along all the pins. Easy. If you get bridging or shorts, you are moving either too fast or you are not adding enough solder. Or your temperature could be off. There's any number of things, but usually it's just that you're moving too fast or you don't have enough fresh solder in there. Ooh, it's over there. I've explained this before in videos, so feel free to totally tune out, but a good solder recommendation is pretty much any 6040 or 6337 rosin core solder. You don't want the unleaded stuff. Trust me, you want the leaded stuff. But the reason we like rosin core solder is because there is a core. This is actually like a tube of solder, and inside the tube is a core of rosin, and the rosin serves as flux, and that is actually the sticky stuff that gets left behind on the board that you can kind of see here, hopefully, depending on the lighting. But the rosin serves as a flux, and it makes the solder flow very, very nicely. It does quite a few things, but more or less it makes solder wet. And wet solder is good solder. You ever hear about a dry joint? Well, what's the opposite of dry? Alright. I gotta add more emojis. They're fun. Let's add the transistor here. This thing is in a mostly circle with a flat side. You just want to line up the flat side on the component with the flat side on the board. Jam that bad boy in there. There's no way I don't get molten solder on my finger when I'm whipping the iron over to do that. And even though these are perfectly adequate joints, I like coming back and hitting them after I trim again, just to kind of pretty them up. Get a nice fillet on there instead of just the flat cut edge. We need a microphone. We probably don't need a microphone. Apparently there's a polarity. But I'm not sure I see it. There is... Are those pins longer? Or is that one pin longer? Those look way too close to be offset. One of them, I'm guessing the side with the 3 traces coming off of it is the ground, and ground is usually not the positive, so I guess we'll try that, see if it works. If not, it's a microphone and some obscure device that probably doesn't need one. It says it's a microphone, so it says mic 1 on the board. I assume that's a microphone. There is a an IR LED, it looks like, in some really weird packaging, and it gets soldered here. The component designator for that is HR1, it looks like, but it could be an I can't really tell. It's overlapping with another part of the silk screen. If it's backwards, then, well, that's what a solder practice kit is for, I guess. But we can fix that later, too. Alright, what else we got? We got a big capacitor. These big ol' electrolytic capacitors here do have a polarity, and you need to get that right, otherwise they explode. On capacitors here, you can see there's the stripe down the side pointing to the shorter leg. That indicates the negative, and the stripe goes on the side with the shading for this particular component. So we'll drop that in there just like that, and solder it down. Trim them leads. And then I'm going to touch it up again because of who I am as a person. What is that? Did I scratch the board? I don't know what that is, though. It's just gunk, I guess, from the flux. What do we need now? Let's do this weird IR thing. The instructions, what few instructions there are, do actually specify how this needs to go in. So that gets soldered in like that, and then you fold it down. And I am just going to try and space it so that it is right where the silk screen says it to go. It says it is supposed to go. And similar to how I usually do it, I'm going to solder one leg down, pick it up, and then melt the joint while I'm pressing my finger down on it so I can make sure to get it lined up properly. And by properly, this is just an IR receiver. I think it's an IR receiver. So it doesn't really have to be aligned that well. You can just eyeball it. It'll be fine. Oops. I will find that later with my foot. Next up, we've got like 8 million LEDs to solder. I think I'll do this board first, just so I don't totally lose my mind. What do we want? Oh, I'm missing the pogo pins. Let's do that. So they go on this side. They should be the tallest thing, which makes it the last thing we solder. And if you look at the side there, you can see they line up exactly as they're intended to. But in this case, I'm going to solder one at a time. I don't know a good way to do this. So we want to hold it in place and keep it aligned. Forgot about gravity for a second there. Okay, that should work. And I can fix it later once there's some solder in there. If it even needs fixing. No, it does. Be careful though, I expect this to get very hot very quickly. And it does. It does. It gets very hot very quickly. Well, it's good enough. Screw it. Can you solder these in backwards? You can. Be careful not to solder these in backwards. There's a springy side and a non-springy side. Don't solder to the springy side. That's a little crooked, isn't it? And good enough. Wait, this isn't a Game Boy? Fucking garbage. Jesus Christ. God damn shit. Okay, anyway. There is a header pin, and I'm not sure what for. So I don't think I'm going to solder it in yet. I hope I don't come to regret that. That capacitor is suspiciously tall. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but it might be better to leave the leads a little bit longer so you can fold it down flat. Is that what they do on theirs? Let's see. Yeah, that's exactly what they did on theirs. That would have been a good idea. But I already cut the leads too short to do that. Alright, let's do the USB port. That seems like fun. It's gonna stick in there. I don't think there's going to be a clearance problem. It's close, but if there is a clearance problem, we'll Mako it. I mean, bodge it. And then to solder these pins, we are going to add nice big bowl of solder and then walk it over all of the pins. And then as long as I move slow enough and introduce enough fresh solder, it will solder down nicely. There's a jumper here too. I'm not sure what that's for. I think that's power input, maybe? I don't know. I mean, that's for power input, but maybe you can hardwire it if you want. Ooh, thank you, HDR. Yeah, those are on pretty straight. Straighter than you. Those are really crappy switches. I mean, I guess. Papa, you talking about this thing that I'm pointing to with my pinky here? I'm gonna assume yes, because there's a delay on the stream, and by the time I find out. Anyway, this is a brass sponge that I have affectionately labeled Brass Hole because I think it's funny and I am immature. But what we use this for is to clean old solder off the tip of the iron, make it nice and fresh. A lot of people like wet sponges, and I used to use a wet sponge, but quite frankly I like the Brass Hole quite a bit better, mostly because it's always ready to use. I don't ever have to go wet this thing. I just have to empty it out periodically and spin it around, and it works because most of the solder ends up just collecting in the bottom and not actually in the brass. It's very useful for making sure that you get all the crappy solder off your tip. So you see, if you take a nice close look at my tip here, really get in there nice and close, give it a sniff. You can see all of the solder on it is nice and shiny, and it makes for better joints when you have real crappy solder on your tips. It doesn't end well. All of my tips are mostly freshly tinned except for this one, but I'm also going to be using this again pretty soon, so I'm not too concerned about it. Do I have another example? Nope. Tin all of them. This one is the only other one that's kind of nasty, but the actual solder part of the tip is nice and clean, so tin that one too. Helps maintain your tip, helps you get better, more solid joints, and also it's a lot of fun to play with your Brass Hole, maybe stick a finger or two in. Good lord, I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself. Alright, let's do the LEDs now and just forget I didn't just forget what I said. So these LEDs, I'm pretty sure these are RGB LEDs or something. I don't know. If not, we'll figure out what color they are later. We get a whole pile of them. And same thing with the capacitors and other junk. They are they do have a polarity. So the short leg, I believe, indicates cathode, the ground. I had to whip out my cheat sheet here. The cathode is the ground. That is what the C stands for there. And you can see anode, cathode. It's for the markings there. But if you look real closely at the LED structure itself, I don't think my phone's going to actually focus on it. Oh, there it is. You can see there is a very distinctive shape in there where there's like a ledge and shelf thing and then a post. That is another way you can tell the shape of LEDs apart if they don't have the legs on there. Also, if you look at it from the top down, there is usually a flat side on the cathode. You can see that from that little symbol there. And for those wondering what this is just a random ruler I found on AliExpress that I keep on my desk, and it's actually surprisingly handy. Less handy than you'd think, more neat than handy, but for LEDs, man, I just can't keep them straight, so that's basically what it lives there for. But you don't need to know that too much because these are all marked. You can go through this really quickly and really easily because of that flat side. Like I said, you just got to line up the flat side with the flat bit on the PCB marking. And these legs, or these LEDs, have a little crimp on the legs, right about the middle there, which changes the shape of them, not too significantly, but the whole point is to keep them in the PCB when you flip it over. It is actually pretty convenient. And unfortunately, I regret soldering that down, so I think I'm actually going to start over here. So that microphone is a little bit taller than these LEDs. Do you know where I can find the blank lenses your prototype screens have? You talking about the slate, Andrew? You talking about this? Because this was, I want to say it's a one-off, but there were 4 total. Retromodding actually printed these for me custom during the development of the slate, and I don't know what their plans are, if they want to sell custom lenses. I certainly don't have a problem with that, but to my knowledge, they are not currently selling slate lenses. And if this ends up getting back to you, Retromodding, feel free to reach out, we can talk about it. I don't know, I didn't want to open up the conversation because I didn't want to presume, which is exactly what I'm doing right now, but that's where I got them. To my knowledge, there really aren't any other custom lens printers aside from Bluish Squirrel and Retro 6. And I am really, really disappointed with the quality of Bluish Squirrel prints. The alignment is almost always off. The colors are terrible. The customer service is non-existent. I'm sorry, bud. It is what it is. But when you place an order and a month goes by with no word, there's a problem. And Retro 6, on the other hand, Boogeyman, it's Voldemort, we don't order from Retro 6. Yes, fine, all that aside, his lenses peel. They said they fixed that issue, but apparently they haven't, and if you want to know what I'm talking about, the Retro Future second channel, I believe it's just under his name, Elliot, but his second channel, he did a sponsored video on Retro 6 nonsense, and he didn't even use the lens that came with his shell because it peeled, so he used a generic one. Oops. Alright, I don't like this LED. Screw it. I'm sure there's extras. And if not, we'll make it work. So, yeah, unfortunately, there are very few choices for custom lenses, and they both suck. Alright, I'm just going to do one leg at a time and then go back and solder these, because otherwise I'm just going to have this like pin cushion to deal with that I don't want to have to work around. And I am just going to do one leg on each of them and then come back and do the other. Oops. Is that? No, we're good. Ozzy, to answer your questions, I can fit all 5 until I run up against the brass. Alright, and because we don't want this to look like Discord Kitten's attempt, we're going to go ahead and straighten out these LEDs here. Why I only soldered one. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of pressure from the back, melt the joint, and then straighten it out, wait for it to solidify, move on to the next one. What's up, Isaac? What's going on? This is going to be a long process, so bear with me. I will gladly talk and solder at the same time. Solder. Oops. And there we go. Easy peasy. Isaac asks, what's your favorite thing that you own that you don't use? You know what? If you want to play that game, see, my answer for that could be Isaac. Probably a better idea to solder both pins before trimming these, by the way. It's also definitely a good idea to wear eye protection. This will blind you. I'm picking up pins that I dropped. Yeah, I just found one. I don't want to find them with my big toe, or my little toe, or any of the other toes. Yeah, dude, when I finally move out of this crappy apartment, and like I get my couch and my desk out of this room, there's gonna be nothing but like trimmed component legs between the wall and the carpet and oh goodness, that was almost disastrous. I'm just gonna hit all of these again, make sure they're nice and solid. So I wasn't keeping good enough track, and I don't know if I skipped any now. Alright, we are done with one leg of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 total. Hey man, Michael, glad you like it. It was a lot of work. And I hope that shows. I'm gonna try it again. Can't walk that in there. It's just not going well. I'm pretty sure that was the short leg. There we go. I've been looking at like Reddit threads, Instagram threads, Twitter, anywhere I see them. Been reading a lot of the feedback on. You can't do a solder bath. There's components. I've been reading a lot of feedback on the slate, and a lot of people are saying they don't really like the look, or whether they like the look or not. They like their opinion was totally based on how it feels. So a lot of people are saying like, yeah, whatever the looks, sure, they don't care for it, but how it actually feels, it's one of their favorite consoles, and I'm stoked about that because we spent a lot of time on the field. That's gonna bend in it. Like I had that prototype, this one. This was basically done almost a year and a half before the thing came out because I wanted to refine the feel and make sure that it fit well and played well. That one's stuck. This time we're gonna cut the long pin, aren't we? Alright, same thing. One leg at a time. Amen. It sure is. I'm using a J-tip. That makes these joints so much easier. Said no one ever. Mike, you know exactly what I spent a lot of time feeling. You, of all people, should know. I mean, that's what the restraining order is about, isn't it? I'm not allowed to feel you. What am I doing? Why am I putting that away? I'm sorry, that joke took a really weird turn. I don't like it anymore. Tried to salvage it. I don't think it worked. Alright. Solder that down. What the heck? Get them all? I think I got them. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep trimming them before hitting both pins. Oops. There's another one for the behind the desk count. Is that one even soldered? Yeah, it is. Is that one soldered? That one's not soldered. Not really. There's solder on the pin, but it's not actually soldered to the board. Now it is. Oh yeah, I'm not really happy with the hinges on the one I printed either. I think I might need to make a make a case without the hinges. Oh, there goes another one. I don't want to get it. That case is under everything. What the hell? Which side did I do? The left side? I think I need to turn my iron down just a tad. Turn it down to 303. Just like the band. Maybe I do 2 legs at once. Try that. Unironically, these retromodding pocket cases, I think Funny Playing makes them too, but I just don't have any. These make really nice cases. They're for the Game Boy Pocket, but Slate is pocket size, so. It works. I don't like that some of these have malformed crimps and don't fit. Or maybe it's the PCB. I think it's the crimp on the LED. Nothing we can't solve with a little brute force and ignorance. Works every time. Except when it doesn't. Hey man, we're just chatting, we're just chilling. Installing a buttload of LEDs. How many are there? There are 12 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 LEDs on each leg. Interesting choice. I can't do math. I can't do basic arithmetic, but that's a lot. That's what, 156? Yeah, 156. Of course you, Hazi. I bet you sat there and counted all the fucking holes. Like, you did that at the beginning of the video and you've just been waiting to drop that. I love you, bud. Thanks. $156 LEDs, which makes 312 solder joints. Solder, excuse me. This is why we do one leg at a time. I can't get in here to get around the legs. Oops. Way too much solder. Excellent. We are 4 of 12. Not, well, not even 4 of 12 because I'm still working on it. Never mind. Good lord. Let this ape use the soldering iron. Soldering iron. Ah, that's hot. Don't touch the things you just soldered to. You know what? That's fine. I'm gonna leave it. Doesn't even matter. I'm about to clip it off. Ooh. There we go. Good enough. I'm surprised that my cat is sleeping in his little cat tree instead of that fresh box that the new monitor arm came in. Oh, thanks, Hazy. Excellent. I hope everything's going well. I hope everything's coming out nice and smooth. And that one's gone. Oh, good lord. Alright, new plan. Magnets. hopefully if I just trim it near the magnet, they stick to the magnet. Oh my goodness. I don't blame anyone who chooses not to finish this. Are we in 83 minutes and I'm still going? You could have watched Rambo in the time you've been sitting here. Instead, you chose to watch some idiot in his apartment play with a hot stick and mispronounce words and make really poor jokes. While talking to himself. Because that's effectively what making a video is. Oh, I just realized something. We can, there's a way we can make this easier. And quicker. I could have zoomed through this a little bit quicker. What's the movie called? Is it First Blood? I'm meaning to watch it. It's been a very long time. We're going to chain this. Just do every other leg. Things should go quite a bit quicker. Unless I run into LEDs like this. Push it in anyway. Is Discord Kitten working on this too right now to finish theirs up? I know they started. I don't remember that they finished because I know it's a lot of LEDs. Get in there. So you still haven't finished yours then? Is that what you're telling me? How's your LOL going? Are you Leaguing of the Legends? Yeah, that's not working at all, is it? I don't even know why. Huh. Fit in that hole. Why didn't it fit in this one? No idea. Ooh, my lights are almost dead. There's an upper limit on how long this stream can be. We're approaching it. Oh wait, just kidding, I have more lights. Ah. Well, maybe, Isak, maybe if you put a little bit more effort into the game instead of chatting in my stream here, you wouldn't be doing so bad. It's just an observation from an outsider who doesn't have all the details. But I have also watched you play before, so there's that. We're almost out of LEDs. Not really, but almost. Alright. Oh no. That didn't happen with the other ones. Never seen that happen before. Just J-tip things. Uh-oh. Yeah, but think about it. After soldering all of these leads, how good are you going to be at soldering? Shoot. Good lord. I have a feeling you're going to be able to tell where I started and where I finished based off the alignment of the LEDs. Just a few little crooked ones. That's fine. We don't need to worry about that. It's my favorite build that isn't a slate. I'm gonna amend that question to my favorite build that isn't something that I made full custom, because I have other things that aren't slates, but that I did also make. I'm really, really pleased with that GBA I assembled with the blackboard. That thing's just cool. If I could only have one Game Boy that wasn't a slate, I think it'd be that black GBA. How many other builds do I have? You should know better than to ask me a question like that, because I don't know offhand, and if I ever want to find out, it means I have to come to terms with what I have. And I don't think I'm ready for that. I don't know if I can recover from that. Like, that's a big ask, dude. I have a lot. With the exception of 3 videos, maybe 2, every single video I have done has been a fresh Game Boy. No. 3, maybe 4. If we're counting, not counting slates, still. For a while I was showing off a different slate every, basically every other week, every few weeks. And that was, that was only ever 1 or 2 slates. 1 or 2 SPs. Alright, just to give myself a better visual indicator of what the heck I'm doing, I'm going to leave the last LED in each leg untrimmed, but only one side. Because otherwise I'm going to come back and not tin the right LEDs. Yeah, I'm really happy with that GBA I made. I'm also really pleased with this ITA one. The shoulder buttons really grew on me. Game Boys always should have had tactile shoulders. But this is the specific one I was talking about with the black board. I think it came out really well. I want to go back and clean up those wires just to make it a little bit more fancy. Also, I should probably throw this board in the ultrasonic at some point, just to clean up all that extra flux. I'm really stoked for those new Cloud Game Store shells. Also because they're in that same mirror clear finish, but unlike Funny Playing, they come in quite a few different colors. The Funny Playing one only ever was made in like 3 colors. And stock was hit and miss. I have a clear and 2 reds, and I think they made a smoke and this like weird purple. Nope, that's gone. So about that SP mirror clear, I wouldn't know anything about that. But I've seen things. Potential things. And I can say no more. Yeah, that Cloud Game Store Crystal Game Boy Advance shell, I have my eyes on one of those too. I've been meaning to order one. I should probably do that pretty soon before TL Hand gets them delisted from AliExpress again. think I'm gonna have to take a break for a minute and empty out my magnet. It's kind of full of component leads. Also, my tea is no longer hot, I bet, because I've forgotten about it and I made it like 2 hours ago. As much as I want to finish this in one go, I think I might need to take a break. Not like end of stream break, but just a few minutes. Alright, I will be right back in just a moment. I'm gonna go empty up my magnet and use the restroom. Actually, several magnets. Hey, saw that, Isaac. You suck. My tea is lukewarm. Michael, I could never get into coffee. I've always really liked the smell, but the taste is tasting great. I like tea because I don't like just drinking water all day, every day. So, you know, this way I can soak some leaves in water and drink hot leaf juice. And it's a little bit more exciting than just water, if that makes sense. But I mean, if you're into that hot bean juice, then by all means, don't let me stand in your way. Oh, if you're putting creamer in it, you might as well be having a milkshake, dude. Good lord. Okay, fine. That joint is just destined to look crusty forever. I was driving by Dairy Queen on the way home from work today, and I was thinking, man, I should get a Blizzard. And then I didn't. And then I got home, and I was thinking, man, maybe I should go get a Blizzard. And then I didn't. And then I was thinking, after the stream, maybe I'll get a Blizzard. And that's not happening because it's 10 o'clock. And Dairy Queen closes. I don't know when they close, but it can't be... It's probably, if not as late as 10, at 10. So I'm not getting a Blizzard today, which is a shame. I kind of wanted a Blizzard. Oh well. It's my own fault. Like, there's no reason I couldn't go get a Blizzard. I just... Oh well. Next time, baby. What? Come here. Alright, never mind. Cat's getting restless. Or he has to poop, I'm not sure. Could be either with cats, let's be honest. Ah, excellent. Very nearly there. We'll be over in a blink of an eye. I don't know whose eye, but someone's eye. Someone's gonna blink. What? Oh, now, I mentioned the box earlier, now he's investigating it. Did you not know there was a box there? Yeah, I used to live right next door to a Dairy Queen. And by right next door, I mean it was like just up the street. But it was less than 5 minutes walk. I am genuinely surprised that I did not come home with more Blizzards. Like, I think I went twice when I lived next door. Ridiculous. I don't know how I managed it. Also, let's go. And like, I lived next to the Dairy Queen for like 10 years, so 2 times in 10 years is absolutely ridiculous. Zach, how'd your league game go? Because I'm still sitting here soldering, and you've probably already played like 3 games. Soldering. God, I hope I didn't just solder all of these in backwards. I mean, I didn't, but it's one of those intrusive thoughts, like, what are you doing, man? Because the thought of doing all of these over again is just causing existential dread. I'd rather scrape traces and patch the board if that were the case. I know someone somewhere bought or is going to buy one of these kits, either from Retro Game Repair Shop or AliExpress or wherever, and they soldered all of the LEDs in backwards and it didn't work, or they didn't realize that the LEDs had polarity and like a third of them worked. I don't want to practice removing LEDs. LEDs. What's up? Just several dudes having fun. No weird stuff, no weirdos. You know, Pot Meat Kettle, Ezak. Pot Meat Kettle, how's yours coming? Yeah, that's what I thought, buddy. Come on, dude, you were almost done. You can finish it. You're good. You got this. You got this in the bag. Think of how much better you'll be at soldering by the time you finish Ferris wheel. Yeah, I don't know why people are so afraid of doing something like this. Like, I get that this specific kit is probably pretty intimidating, especially since I've been going at it for 2 hours and I'm not even done yet. Um, but they're like 20 bucks. Why are you gonna spend 80, not $80, but like $50 on a Game Boy, $60 on a backlight kit, um, $20 on a case, $10 on buttons, all that junk, and then like buy a soldering iron and just try and learn on the Game Boy? It doesn't make any sense. I like these kits because they are very low pressure. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Whatever. The whole point is to get practice. And so even by completing it, working or not, you will have gotten practice and it will have served its purpose. Now, if it does work, obviously that's better, that's a pro. But like I said, even if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter because that was the whole point. To get you practiced, to get you better, to get you more confident to take on the world, or at the very least an IPS kit. Ever since that, I totally forget what it's called, but that GameCube thing that just came out that everyone's flipping out over, even though GameCubes are dumb and no one should care about them. Do you know how many people are learning to solder on their GameCube? And that's like even harder than soldering on a Game Boy because that stuff's all lead free, higher temp, much more difficult to work with if you've never soldered before. So many destroyed boards. Was it Pico Boot or something? I don't know why anyone would spend money on a GameCube when Wii's are cheaper, have better compatibility, and don't need hard mods to play ROMs. But my GameCube, oh, my nostalgia. But anyway, that's a conversation for another time. Or not, because I'm still just sitting here soldering LEDs. No, you're trying to scam me. I'm not going to spend $6 on a solder practice kit. I'm just going to buy another Game Boy. I don't get people. But whatever, if that's what they want to do, it's their money. I mean, who are you to tell them how they should be spending their money? Or wasting it. This is so often the case. Hey, would you look at that? That's what it looks like with all the LEDs soldered in and 4 legs of them all crooked and horrifying. Hey, so while I am still doing this, what's everyone watching right now? What's watching any good series? Because I personally am watching For All Mankind. I just started a rewatch after season 3 came out. And by just started, I mean like last week I just started. Because I wanted to binge it. And I'm nearly through season 2. And oof, it's such a good show. I haven't seen season 3 yet, but I'm stoked. I'm probably just gonna binge it this weekend. I don't really keep up with YouTubers. Most of it's just inane bullshit. There are so many self-proclaimed experts when really they're just entertainers. Entertainer is not what I am. Not an expert either. I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. But I don't consider myself an entertainer either. Just some moron with a passion and a camera, I guess. It's the name of my OnlyFans. I don't know what you're talking about, bud. I don't have an OnlyFans. And if there is some guy on OnlyFans named Mako, that's not me. I'm not even joking. That's serious. We're in the home stretch. Primal. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I realized I just asked a question and then you didn't even check chat. Michael, you're watching Game of Thrones again? I'm so sorry, bud. I I watched Game of Thrones specifically because I was intrigued at the outrage that season 8 had gotten. I sitting there the whole time thinking it can't be that bad. It was that bad. And who had the better story than Bran the Broken, who spent the whole fucking season being carted around in a wheelchair and otherwise being totally fucking useless and getting Hodor killed. I haven't seen Primal, um, but I know who. I don't know how to pronounce that person's name, but I know who they are and I know what they made. And you know what? I'm willing to give it a shot. I didn't know they made more stuff. Oh my goodness. Time zone. I am in. I live in Arizona, which has its own time zone. Most of the year it is Mountain Standard. It is currently 10 p.m. and change. Arizona is one of the only states in the U.S. that does not follow daylight savings time, which gives us our own time zone. I believe there are a few other states that are considering getting rid of daylight savings time. Or was it a nationwide thing? I don't know. I remember reading an article. A thing. There was a thing. I thought it was nationwide, federal. Uh-oh. I've trimmed one and already messed it up. Can't say I've seen Adventure Time. Does not look like something that appeals to me, though. Of course. We are going to do this the wrong way, but only because it's the only way I can think to reattach this. I'm never supposed to just put solder on the iron and try and transfer it. You're supposed to feed fresh solder into a hot joint, but this is what we got. Okay. Stay. None of the rest of those feel loose. Michael, if it makes you feel any better, I have built double-digit number of slates. One might say I'm a fan. One might say I'm a little bit biased when it comes to the slate. One might also say I have 6 on my desk right now. I don't know why one would say that, but one could say that. It would be accurate. All right. Progress. There's some tea. Nintendo collector. Unfortunately, there was a lot of R&D, if you will, that went into the slate that is driving some of the cost. There is also some overhead from just having them made and selling, and like the store. There is room to come down on the price, but not if we want to keep selling them. Unfortunately, it is what it is, and that's kind of par for the course for custom machined parts. For what it's worth, though, when you consider the overall price of a whole build, slate or normal Game Boy or whatever you're talking about, the price ain't that far off. Because it's what it works out to about 225-ish in parts, depending on how much you spend on your SP. And realistically, with how much Game Boys are and IPS kits, You know, depending on the options you trick it out with, that's pretty similar to what you'd expect to pay. It is more, especially if you opt for like metal buttons and go crazy with like LED kits and such. New rear shell, even though you can reuse your original. I don't know. I hear what you're saying, but it is what it is. You also got to keep in mind that it's just a shell. It doesn't actually add any functionality. So if you're feeling FOMO and you've already got a Game Boy, know that it plays the exact same games your Game Boy already plays. So using an off-the-shelf backlight kit, mostly. We did a few customizations. And then a custom screen, but even then the screen's only custom for lamination purposes. You can DIY your own screen kit if you want. Ain't too bad. I should have known better. There we go. Oh, I see Gibb Shrugs has found some free time in his Hide the Pickle session with Captain Daddy. He's come to bully me. Hello there, Gibb Shrugs. How are you doing, my friend? I will say to anyone on the fence, you know, thinking, should I get a slate, should I not get a slate? The SP itself is pretty polarizing. If you don't like an SP, you're probably not going to like the slate either. Baja Blast, you say? It's funny, I had Taco Bell today. I still have my cup that I've been using for water. Gents, ladies, other, I think it's done. Except for that LED, that one was heinous. And the one right next to it wasn't that much better either. And we only have 2 extra LEDs. Unfortunate. Also, wow. It's a good thing I don't need that. Dripped a lot of solder, didn't I? Solder. There, it's clean. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll catch y'all next. No, I'm kidding. Building a new Game Boy Pocket Nintendo collector. If you're in the Game Boy Discord, post in gallery. That's like the only channel I actually check in that Discord nowadays. Wait a second. Sorry, I'm doing this off camera, but I've been hunched over my desk, so I'm taking a quick break again. Just unwrapping the acrylic. There we go. You managed to get yourself banned from the Game Boy Discord? Good lord, dude. One of the most reasonable servers I've ever been in. Especially since change in management. Little squares we gotta pop out. Well, there are rules to that server, and they are pretty upfront about that, so... Sorry about your bad luck, I guess. HDR is also the server owner, so if he says no, then that's final. Oh, nuts. Ow. That went into my finger. Only a little bit, though. No, I left Natalie's server too. people mistook criticism for personal attacks, and I didn't want to deal with that, so I decided to leave. Someone straight started throwing a tantrum after I said one thing. It wasn't even directly to them. Just made a comment. I don't even remember what it was, but it was fucking stupid. And I realized that I just didn't care, so... that goes like that. I think. Why would they do that? We're missing a component. And by missing, I mean, it's probably right here. I'll put that there, because that's where the motor plugs in. I like that it's symmetrical. It makes things easier. Use the big screws for that? Sure. Not that one, but sure. I'm gonna use one of the long ones so it goes all the way through. Screw that in. We don't want it too tight because it'll crack the acrylic. Oh, come on. Why would they do that? It's not labeled, so I don't know which way this actually puts it. But there's a picture, and ground is on the bottom. So try that. Actually, it probably doesn't even matter. Like, if the Ferris wheel rotates backwards, who cares? Okay, cap doesn't clear. You know what the easiest solution to that is? Just put the thing on the other side. burn my finger if I do that. There we go. Alright, so make sure you leave enough leads on the cap to fold it down, or just put it on the front and deal with it because of who you are as a person. Is the right screw. Oh, there's no way that's smooth. Is there not a spacer or something? Oh, here, hang on. I know what I'm doing wrong. I'm gonna put a nut. I'm gonna nut on this thing all over it. There. That should be nice and steady and solid. And any other how in the heck are you supposed to do that? That's not going to work, is it? No. I'd say this would be easier if I didn't put this wheel on already, but it probably wouldn't. It's actually not that bad to do this way. I'm gonna get your nut in there. Feed the screw in. And ta-da! It should come with like little feet, because otherwise this thing's just gonna like rock around on the desk. Wait, what's this for? This is for something. I don't know. It's probably for whatever I use that nut for. Oh well. Whatever, let's see if it works. What do we need? We need USB. How am I unwrapping this? I already have one just straight plugged in. Let's hold it by the spinny bit while plugging it in. It ain't fast. but I don't know if it's supposed to be. Alright, that's some of the coolest I've ever seen. That's neat. I didn't get it right on the first try, unfortunately. This leg has a dead LED right here, and I think it's preventing the ones past it from lighting up. And this one, the tip is dead. Oh, wait a second. It just started working. I could have sworn I saw... I don't understand. Nope, that's the lights. I don't want that. Well, the lights are basically off at this point because they're all dead, except for the overhead one. The remote comes with the little tab in there for the battery. It's supposed to be a Ferris wheel. It's not supposed to go fast. And it's not like it's not being dragged on anything. That's just the gearbox speed it goes at. This is not just a DC motor. There's a whole gearbox attached to it. I don't think it's that LED, and I don't know what it is because I don't understand how these work. Because like it's lighting up, they're just dim. But also only sometimes. This is a super good way to ruin this thing, by the way. So, probably don't do this. He's doing stuff now. It's still kind of weird. I don't know what's up with that. And this tip one isn't lighting up either. Now it is. That one was just a bad joint. Oh, I never even soldered that one. Whoops. Did I do the same thing here? Is that what this is? No. That one, nope. I don't know. I hit every joint on that leg. I'll try this one. But it's like sometimes lighting up past that. Does killing that fix it? That's odd. Alright, cool. Cool. Where's the big suck? There it is. It's not that LED. It's like they're lighting up sometimes. I don't understand. Oh, there is a via right under that LED though. I wish I had a full schematic for this thing. That would make this a lot easier. I think there's a solder joint I missed. Maybe that's it. I thought I just touched that up, but maybe not. No. I don't like this mode. I don't know, everything else is working, including the other one that was dead. Is that other LED? Here it is. The LED wasn't dead. I think it might be the board. I'm gonna solder this thing back in now. Maybe something happened with how I've been treating this thing? I don't know. That's a shame, though. I just had to jinx it, you know? I was talking about having to resolder all the LEDs, and then suddenly now it's looking like that's a thing if I want this to work properly. Oh, but now that I'm looking at it in this light, I can see how this works a little bit different. A little bit beater. And I might be able to patch that. Whatever's wrong with it. Oh my god, there's so much rosin on this board. Might as well throw it in the deep fryer. Oh, but now they're all lighting up. What the? I genuinely don't understand. That one is crooked as heck. Holy cow. See, that's what I thought. That's what I tried. This one, last working one. Hey, will you stop? But the thing is like they're all working. It's this one here, they're just not as bright. I don't know, man. I think it's gonna stay this way, though. I can't... I don't think I have it in me to mess with this anymore. Nope, that's the off switch. Whoops. Oh, but now it's not... Genuinely, no idea. What do you know? It is a bad board. Got it. Should probably unplug it while I'm doing that, huh? It was this one, right? Yeah. Shouldn't be that hard to figure out. It's the only clean one. Not even turn it off, because that's what kind of night I'm having. It's not my fault, okay? There you go. Fixed it. I noticed that LED is not working. This thing's kind of finicky, huh? What's 0 do? Nothing. What's minus do? Oh, you can just cycle through the modes. Alright, this is one of the coolest things. I still don't understand what the point of the microphone is. The hell is that? What's the point of that mode? There's a mode. You hit the back button on the remote and it just switches to 2. I mean, the power button turns it off, so that's neat. Except I don't know how to turn it back on now. The back button did something, but the power button didn't do anything. Turn it back on. Oh, off, on. Easy. I bet I know why that LED's not working. This one's an easy one. Is it working now? Yep. You gotta solder all of the LEDs if you want them to work. Yeah, it's pretty cool aside from the occasional weird squeaking noises it makes because it's just pogo pins dragging against a board. But it's shockingly smooth otherwise. Alright, cool. I think that's all I've got. I'm gonna clean up a little bit. If anyone has any last minute questions. Otherwise, I'm getting ready to go do something. I don't know. I've been thinking about pizza this whole time. Well, I've been thinking about pizza this whole time when I haven't been thinking about blizzards. Alright. Yeah, I feel that, man. It's been a long stream. I kind of didn't expect it to take this long, but there was a lot of LEDs. Hello? Oh, so it just shuts off if it doesn't hear anything. Interesting. I was wondering what that microphone was for. Or maybe the microphone doesn't even work and that was just a weird coincidence. Or maybe it's not a weird... No. I feel like it's a weird coincidence. Unless this whole time the pattern it's been showing is just whatever the mic is picking up from the vibrations. don't know. I think that's all I've got. It's kind of annoying that the PCB needed a bodge wire, but at least we got there in the end. Alright. It's the whole point of a practice kit. None of the buttons seem to be doing anything. It's clearly still getting power. Well, I guess that's all we get. Yeah, I've got nothing for LEDs now. That's unfortunate. Well, it did work. Y'all saw. I don't know what's going on now. But, alright, I'm done for the night. I'm gonna go do something... Oh, hey! Hey! I saw something. I don't know. It seems exceedingly arbitrary. Probably the pogo pins, huh? That would do it. Yeah, I think it's worn down through already. Or not. I don't know. You can see all those scrapes though. Yeah, probably don't spin if you want to look at the pretty light show. Probably last longer. Or, you know, give it a actual decent slip ring. Not that hassle garbage. I'm just waiting for it to start spinning again, because I never actually turned the motor off. There it is. I don't know what that was about, but it was definitely the pogo pins. Oh well. That's what it is. Alright, thanks guys. Thanks for sticking with me. I know this was a stupid long one. I had some... Really? Oh, okay. I had some other stuff planned for after I did this practice kit. You know, hey, mess around with some other Game Boys, show off some stuff, whatever. But then this ended up taking about 2 hours longer than I thought it would. So... until next time, I guess. I still got still got at least one more practice kit on my desk, so we've got more stuff. But that is hell to the no for tonight. So thanks for watching, guys. Especially all the folks who have been supporting me through the membership and the super chats and whatnot. I genuinely do appreciate it. If you want to check out this solder practice kit for solder practice and not because you think it's a neat gadget, because it's quite unreliable, there is a link to this thing down in the description. Retro Game Repair Shop is carrying them. They actually sent this one my way to check out because they thought it was neat. They wanted to see me put it together. He's been bugging me for the past 2 weeks. I want to see it spin. I want to see it spin. There it is. It's spinning. We'll have to figure something out to get those wipers not being so absolute garbage. Oh, thank you, Mike G. I appreciate it. I have been doing the membership thing. I'm trying to keep at least one video in there so that you at least get something that's not just emojis. But no promises. Anyway, that's all I've got. I will catch us all next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, 3 hours and 17 minutes. Sheesh.